Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. So I want to do this thing tonight talking about the schools. Is it safe for the kids to go back to school in the fall and all that type of stuff. So we're going to talk about a lot about that because I know a lot of you have children or grandchildren that may be possibly going back to school in the fall. So a lot of interesting stuff with that. So we're going to get into that in a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, if we have any issues, any disruptions with the show, I will get right back on. So please be patient. Look for me. You may not get a notification, but I will get back on as soon as I possibly can. So please watch for that, okay? So that being said, it has been known to happen. Our last show that we did Wednesday, the whole show went and we were good and no issues. So you just never know, okay? So anyway, what was I going to say? All right, so I want to remind everybody again, I always like to do this in the beginning because it makes it real easy. Very family-friendly oriented show, so please no nastiness, no racism. In the chat, no being a jerk, so please don't do that. If you decide to do that, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here, okay? So just putting that out there so you know. And we'll go from there. All right, so just don't do it. Just be decent. We want to have a good conversation. We want to have a nice talk. The rest of it is absolutely unnecessary. Okay, so all right, so let's get into this. Again, today just ridiculously hot up here. We were 91, 92 degrees today. Very, very warm. And it just, what are you going to do? Tomorrow, they're talking a high of 81. I am really, really looking forward to that. I'm so tired of this freaking unbelievably hot weather. That's why I don't live down south. Okay, so anyway, so what we're going to talk about with this topic first, and this is what I think is really, really interesting. So we're going to talk about, let's see, hold on a second. I want to hear or see what this. Okay, I do not know how to say that name, so I'm just going to call you Keish, Kish, Keisha, I guess is the name. 17. Scientists here in Canada are trying to get the World Health Organization to change their stance on COVID-19 not being airborne. They say that it is. Okay, yeah, I know. I absolutely do believe that it's airborne, so I don't know why they're trying to get them to change that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but thank you very much for giving us that, sharing that information, and thank you also for the donation. Okay, so, all right. So if we go back, we're going to be talking about the United States. Okay, so this is where I live, so this is what we're going to talk about. Back in March, they did this big stimulus package, right? Everybody remembers the big stimulus package that they did. And $13.5 billion of the stimulus package went to go to schools to help prepare to, get, for safety and cleaning and everything else and get things ready for kids to come back to school this fall, okay? So I want you to, let's remember that number, $13.5 billion, all right? What did the airlines get? We're just going to go with the airlines really quickly. Airlines got $25 billion. So the airlines got double what the schools did. And if you think about it, how many airlines are there and how many schools districts are there across the country? So that kind of puts that into perspective of where the priorities were. We got to take care of our rich buddies and not take care of, the students. Have a huge problem with this, huge problem, because now my daughter's in college, okay? The college that she's going to is planning on having them come in to start school in August, all right? They're doing some classes remotely. They're doing some classes hands-on. They're reducing the size of the classes, so there's not going to be any really big classes anymore and those type of things. A lot, they have a plan. Okay, so hopefully that's going to be okay. But I want you to think about this. Let's just kind of put this in perspective for a second. Oh, well, so anyway, let's see. Education groups say it will cost a lot more to get schools ready than the $13.5 billion. That's when, and we're going to get into we're going to talk about everything else here in a second. But here's the problem that I have: law and order prepper. No schools for kids because COVID is a lie. With so many parents working 2 jobs, this is almost destroying Trump's economy. Kids at home equals no jobs. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So the president is basically threatening to cut off. Thank you very much for that statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. The president is threatening to cut off federal funding to schools if they do not open in the fall too. I don't know if you guys saw that. That's the latest thing with that as well. But now I want you to, let's put this into perspective. So you have, let's go with the, what is this? Quite a lot of quality, highly questionable, even traumatic for young kids, lady kickboxer. So yes, that's what we're going to talk about right now. So you have your 5-year-old getting ready to go to school for the first time. Yes, wonderful, right? Now they have to get on the bus, be screened on the bus. So you're going to have that bus monitor screening every kid to make sure they don't have a temperature before they even get on the bus. Now let's remember also, 5-year-old kids are germ factories. You go to your kids in school, that's a germ factory in schools. They put their mouths on everything. They're touching everything. It's a freaking nightmare, okay? So now you have this 5-year-old kid's got to get on the school bus. He's going to get tested first to see if he's got a temperature, and then they're going to basically isolate him in a seat. So they're going to have, kids picked up at different times as well. They're not all going to get on a school bus like we all grew up with, where you had a whole bus load of kids. It's going to be very, very separated. Now they got to have a mask on top of that. Now they go into the school. They're going to be screened again, right, to get into the school. And then they're going to be put into a cubicle, all right, a little isolation, separation cubicle. That whole interaction of the hands-on with teachers and the fear of, number one, the change for kids is going to be in itself very overwhelming. Now you throw in this whole isolation nonsense on top of it. Hey, Hurricane Rip. Hey, Ed, relaxing, watching your show and having a beer. There you go. I'm glad to hear it. I actually had a couple myself earlier today. Very, very warm. Heather and I were out and about having a nice ride, and I had a couple beers earlier myself because it was just like too ridiculously hot to do anything else. So thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. But again, this is going to be very traumatic for young kids. And I'm not just talking kindergartners. I'm talking all these younger kids. They're not going to be allowed to hug their friends. They're not going to be able to have that interaction with their peers like they were before. They're going to be basically told, no, don't touch anybody. Don't touch anything. They're going to be eating their lunches in their rooms. I mean, it's crazy what they're doing. Okay. I don't think that that's healthy in any way, shape, or form. Follower of Jay said, and don't forget that BLM protests have resulted in cops not being in schools anymore now, too. Oh, I did not realize that. Well, I just saw a thing today, and they were talking about the number of cops. We're just talking New York City. The number of cops that have requested retirement because they've had it. And they're basically begging these cops, the city is, to not retire. But they've just had it. They're not putting up with the nonsense anymore. Again, a lot of crazy stuff going on with that whole situation, but that's another whole topic. But yeah, I didn't know that they were not having the police officers in the schools. I'm not sure that's everywhere, but again, I'm not sure. But so now what happens now? Okay, now let's think about this. Maybe your kid's got a fever, okay? Because again, schools are this major petri dish. Are they going to isolate them out and put them someplace, and then they're going to have to get a test, a COVID test? Hey, Full of Hope, did a mom get a beer too? Is she phoning tonight? You know what? She's not phoning tonight. It's not, because literally 2 minutes before I got online here, I called Mom and said, listen, don't call me during the show. She actually was calling me. She had called me early, and I hadn't listened to her messages yet. She goes, well, did you listen to my message? Are you coming tomorrow? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I guess there's a big garage sale. We went last year in this whole neighborhood. We went last year to this big community garage sale. And so she wants to know if I want to do that tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, guys, my mother, like nobody I've ever seen on this planet, loves garage sales, and she's infected me with this disease, just so you know, because I absolutely love garage sales. You can get such great stuff. You know, it's you can get some great deals. So we may be taking a trip and going garage sailing tomorrow. I have to let Heather know. She's in. She loves it too. My thrifty little girl. So anyway, guys, I see we're already up to 700 in the chat. We got 205 on the thumbs up. If you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I absolutely would appreciate it to show support for the channel. And thank you for doing that. Again, it also helps with the algorithms. So please, if you would do that, I would appreciate that. And again, it's just, I like to see a good number of thumbs up on top of everything else. So, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. So, but yes, so give Heather money, or Heather have fun money. Oh, she, believe me. Well, we hit, today we hit a couple of, there's a town like way out. And last year, me and my neighbor behind me, Chris, the two of us went, and we had to, I can't remember where we went. We had to go someplace, but we went through this town, and we decided to check it out because she says, oh, I hear there's antique stores and stuff in here. And I said, cool. So we went there last year, and there was like a whole bunch of these little antique shops and stuff. It was very, very cool. And I told Heather that day, you really missed out. You should have come with us. And I said, I'll take you another time. Well, that other time ended up being today. We got up, we got dressed, we got out the door. We took the bike. So we were limited in space of what we could get. But, we hit the different stores. And of course, there was nobody in those stores, which was awesome because it's a Friday and it was in the middle of the day. We had to have our mask on, of course, and the people that were working there was one person in each place. They had their mask on, and it was nice. It was a nice way to spend the day with my daughter, and so she got spoiled a little bit today. We got a few things, so I got to tell you, okay, before we'll get back on topic. I promise we will. I'm easily distracted. I know with the big shiny thing, but I got to tell you this sign that I picked up today. It's about this big. And it's perfect. And it's very, very true. It says strength. The definition of strength, okay? And I love this. It says the definition of strength is taking a chocolate bar, breaking it into 4 pieces, and only eating one of the pieces. Now, I love that. I think that's very funny. I would never just eat one of the pieces. So I have no strength. I'm weak when it comes to candy. So I just thought that was very funny. I will show you. I think it's still out in the other building. I haven't brought it in the house yet, but I will show you that sign in the future. It's very, very funny. I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. So especially when it comes to sweets, I had to have that sign. So, but so we we got a few things today, and it was fun. We had an enjoyable day. And, so that's what it was all about. So just spending that quality time because she's going to be going back to school soon. And again, sending her back to school and not knowing what that looks like, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. So instead of last year, she had, hey, Mountain Girl, pretty wild to think of what school's going to look like going forward, especially in the fall and the winter. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much for the donation as well, Mountain Girl, and thank you for that statement. You're right. With going back to school, it's going to be a whole different aspect of things like kids have never seen before. I really feel bad for the kids that graduated here in 2020. Their senior year was a mess, an absolute mess. They didn't get to experience all the different things that a normal kid should experience in their senior year. No senior trip. No senior prom, no dance, none of that type of stuff. The camaraderie, that connected of, yes, we're all going out into the world and where are you going, what are you doing type of stuff. They don't get to have any of that. And that's kind of sad. I really do feel for the kids and the kids moving forward. What's it going to look like? So I wanted to talk about this here real quick too. So, the Democrats, because there's going to be, they're in the process, they're coming back from their nice 2-week break because heaven forbid they know they work way, way too hard. Congress and the Senate, I mean, they're very, very difficult workers. Have you ever really looked at how much time they get off, guys. I want a job like that. I'm in the wrong business because it's like they get so much perks and time off, and it's just lifetime health care. They get a pension, after working, being in Congress for 4 years or whatever their run is. They get a pension for the rest of their lives. I mean, why can't we have those things? Hey, Asif, kids don't know where they're going to finish school in the twilight. Didn't know they were going to finish school in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I hear you there. It's absolutely been the Twilight Zone. Very, very crazy stuff. Like I said, I really do feel bad for the kids having to deal with everything that they've had to deal with. It's been an absolute nightmare, and then everything else that's going on with it. It doesn't make it any more fun. But so anyway, we have this. They're going to be doing they're in the process of working on a fourth stimulus, okay? And the Dems are calling for between 58 and 175 billion for local schools, okay? So that's what they're talking about. Not all the Republicans are on board, so I'm sure they'll come to some kind of an agreement in between. A couple questions that I have with that, okay? So do the schools need more money? Absolutely they do. They're going to have to put up partitions. They're going to have a lot more cleaning products. If there's any kind of issues in any school, they're going to have to shut those schools down and do a complete cleaning. There is, the big announcement. Yes, give me just 1 minute and we will do that, okay? We will do that in just 1 minute. Let me just grab this because I need this. So, all right, we're going to get to the announcement here in a moment. Hey, Troy, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Full of hope. Courage isn't the strength to go on. It's going on when you don't have the strength. I love that quote. It has helped me a lot. Yes, exactly. And that is a great quote. And thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that as well. So, but again, if you think about all the money that's going to have to come from somewhere, and let's say the Congress does approve another plan and gives a whole bunch of more money, where's that money coming from? That's my question. And at the end of the day, if they don't, will eventually that trickle down and affect us, the average taxpayer that pays our school taxes every year? If the schools need 3 to 5% more in their budget for these different things, are they going to squeeze it out of us? And when people aren't working and not having, jobs and everything else, I mean, it's like I said, it's just it's a whole recipe for disaster. Hey, Donna Smith. Hey, Ed, I'm a Trump supporter, and he doesn't have the authority to cut school funding. You know what? And I agree with you, he doesn't. And actually, it's not all the funding as well. But yes, I mean, that's a very bad situation. And I think sometimes he overspeaks and says things that he really should not say. And this is one of them. When you're talking about children and keeping children safe, children are the future, guys, number one. And I don't think that we need to have our children go through an experience that may leave them scarred, for the rest of their lives, especially the small young ones. Older kids kind of get it and they know what's going on, but the younger kids are going to be traumatized, because if you go from being home all the time and, and having a wonderful fun time with mom and dad and all that type of stuff, to going to where you're having all kinds of issues and now you're isolating yourself and you can't be near other people. And, that's very traumatic for kids, especially at that very vulnerable age when their brains are developing and everything like that. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Schools waste more money than the military. Oh, and I can't disagree with you on that. You are right. And it's like, that's the whole point. It's like they really waste a lot of money. They pay salaries to people that are not qualified, that should not be. I'm going to give you a great example, and we're going to get into the announcement here in just a second, guys. I promise. Okay. My daughter, straight A student, never has an issue, always been a great kid. She had a teacher in 10th grade math. Okay. Now we're gonna, and this is not, oh, you're just protecting your daughter. Okay. No. So she had this math teacher who was a complete jerk. I mean, complete jerk. Okay. And every other class that she had 90 plus average in that class. So we get through the first semester I think it was the first it was first or second semester. I think it might have been the second semester. She got through the first semester. She had like an 87 in his class. Okay, that was her average. And she goes, "Dad, I'm working my butt off in this." And she goes, "This guy's he's mean, and and everything else." And Heather's not one to, just complain for no reason. Okay, so I always listen to what she says. So the second semester comes. She gets her grade for his class, and it was a 66. Now, I'm going to tell you what. This is a straight A student that always does all her work, works very, very hard. She made the dean's list her first year in college. So, I mean, she's a smart kid, okay? And when she went on to 11th and 12th grade, her math scores were right back up into the high 90s once again. So it absolutely was 100% this teacher. So I went to the school because that's how I roll. And I wanted to see this teacher. And they were like, "Oh, no, Mr. Carswell, you can't see this teacher." So I talked to the assistant principal. And the way that I started the conversation, and I tell me if I'm not smart with this, I said, "I want you to pull up my daughter's grades." And he said, "Okay." So he pulled up her grades. I says, "You tell me what her grades are in every class." And so he ran them down and got to her class. I said, "Where's there a problem?" And he said, "Well, in this class here, I see that." Then he proceeded to tell me that I'm not the first parent to complain about this guy, that there were many, many others. And I said to him, "This better get squared away, or I'm going to come in and I will have a talk with this gentleman, this teacher, okay? Hey, Nest Prepper, teachers need more funding. Elementary classes size needs to be cut down. Classroom supplies need more funding. Administration costs needs to be cut." Yeah, because the administrators is where a lot of that money goes. Absolutely, it does. And thank you very much for that comment. And thank you so much for the donation as well. But what I said was, this better get squared away. Well, the last two quarters, her scores were back up there again. Because I think that assistant, you know what? I'm not the toughest guy in the world. I'm not the baddest guy in the world. But I don't play. And I'm a guy that will make noise, and I will make problems, and I will do it the right way. I wasn't going in there to confront him to beat him up or any of that kind of nonsense. I was going in there to ask him, what's the problem? But this teacher, they couldn't get rid of him, okay, because he had tenure. And that's how it works with these schools. Once they get tenure, it's impossible to get them out of there. Okay, so before we go any further, I want to make a big announcement here, all right? I have just, there's a company that I talked about this a little bit before. We have everything set up now. Now, there'll be a link down in the description of this video. I will be adding a link onto my website as well, preparedness1.com, okay? I'm going to, it's Jada, okay? It's Jaydega, Jada.com. That is the website, okay? This is for CBD and hemp convenience, okay? So CBD and hemp products, you can go to Jada, I'm going to spell it again, JAYDEGA.com. If you go there and if you put an order in with Jada, okay, and you put in, you're going to get a discount code. You put in, once you go to checkout, you will put in Prepper Nurse 1. It will give you a 15% discount on anything that you purchase, okay? Now, a couple good things with this. Not a fan of weed, Artie Franklin just said. Well, that's, you know what, and that's fine. But this is not weed. CBD oil is an extract from marijuana that's used to treat a lot of different things, from pets to people. There's a lot of really good things with this, okay? So, again, individual choice. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but it's an opportunity for you to save some money on this, and I've decided to hook up with them because I'm a big believer in it. I know it helps. I have used CBD products myself, so I'm very much an advocate of it, and I think that it's important stuff to have, okay? That's my opinion. If you would like to go check it out again, it's JAYDEGA.com. You go there. If you place an order, again, and then when you go to checkout, they'll ask you if you have a coupon. You put in Prepper Nurse 1, and you will get a 15% discount because of using my Prepper Nurse 1, okay? Now, the cool thing is all orders are shipped out between 1 and 2 days. So these products are shipped out very, very quickly, okay? So that's a really good thing. And they have a lot of different things that you can get online there, Okay, so when you go into the website, jada.com, and check that out, there's a lot of different things that you can get, that you can use. They have beauty products as well, all based on, CBD and hemp. So definitely take advantage of that. The cool thing is, too, just so you guys know, for my subscribers that are overseas, they have not got it set up yet, but I will let you know as soon as they do. They are going to ship international as well. So that option will be available. It may be a couple more days before they get that set up. So anybody in the UK, Australia, anywhere else in Europe, you can have that opportunity to get stuff as well. And you can order it right online, and they will ship it directly. It goes out within 1 to 2 days. So that's an awesome thing as well. Hey, Boston Bruins fans, 6819. There's no effective CBD whatsoever. It heals bones, cures cancers. Hold on a second. Let me just read the rest of your comment. Cures cancers. There's so many things. This is so many things at this thing is into. It's amazing. It is amazing things. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to tell you what. So here's the thing. The cool thing with using the CBD oils and stuff like that, it doesn't get you high. It's not like you're smoking a joint. Okay, you're using the extracts, and it has a tremendous amount of healing properties, a ton of healing properties. And I talked about a little bit with myself what I used it for in the past, and I used it for pain. Yeah, but I use it for pain. And so what I did was I was having pain from when I had my surgery from my cancer. So I would rub it in a muscle eraser, it's called. It's like, so I would rub that into that area. And not only did it help take the pain away so that when I was riding my Harley that I could ride for longer periods of time without being in pain, it actually healed that pain that I was having as well. That's from my own experience of using a CBD product. So I absolutely am 100% behind this. I will not get behind any product that I don't believe in. The two people that are the guy that runs the business and his cousin that's also involved, obviously I've met them. I know her from previous, but I met him. Very stand-up guy, very, very squared away. This is a absolutely above board business, guys. This is nothing shady or anything like that. So like I said, I'm not going to get behind anything that I don't personally believe in. I will never get on here and say, hey, look at this pencil. This pencil's the best pencil in the whole world, even though this is a pen. This is the best, greatest thing in the whole world. It's only going to cost you $19.95. I will never do that. That's not what I'm on here for. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to get behind anything that I don't believe in. And I'm going to show you the card, and hopefully you'll be able to see that okay. So that's one of the business cards, okay? But again, like I said, it helps with pain, stress, anxiety relief, skin and health, and immunity support. Really good for, like I said, seizures and all those type of things as well. And it really does glaucoma. Those are all things that work with it really, really well. So again, go check out their website. And yes, does a portion of whatever you guys purchase go to me? Yes, it does, which also helps support the channel, helps me do the things that I do around here. And so, it's a business opportunity. But again, I'm not going to get behind something that I don't believe in. And I absolutely believe in CBD. I really, really do. Hey, Charmin. Hey, Ed, I hope all is well. Thanks for all you do. You have really taught me a lot. Much love going out to you. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank you for that comment. And thank you very much for the donation as well. I really do appreciate that. C Max says, all the more reason to buy from you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that too. But like I said, I believe in the product. I know that it works. And here's the weird thing. I could take the same thing that you could take, and it may have a different effect on me as it does on you. And it may help you with something that it would not have helped me with. That's the kind of the beauty of this type of stuff. It's got so many healing properties. It's an awesome, awesome thing. So again, please take advantage of that if you would. Do you know where I can get hemp cloth and threads? Carmen. You know what, Carmen? I would look on the website. They may have it there. They may have that there. I'll have to talk with them to see if they have those products available. but I know that the hemp is part of what they sell. So they may have that there on the website. So definitely check into that too. Have you used this company's products? Yes, I have. Actually, let's see. Here is one of the products that I have purchased myself from there. And this is CBD Intense Relief Pain Rub. 1,000 milligrams of CBD with, so that's one of the products. Again, I will use that if I'm having, again, any kind of back pain, which happens from time to time. But yes, that's one of the things that I purchased from them. And that's a pain relief that I got from them. And so that's one of the, and it stays right over here on the dresser by my bed. So again, I'm going to always promote something that I believe in. I will never get behind anything just to try to sell crap. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay. So again, if you have issues, it's something that could possibly help you. Please take advantage of that. Like I said, good people, very, very squared away, small company, and all the products that are done, just so you guys know too, are all made in the United States. So that's another thing. If you're looking to buy American as an American, there is it expensive? You know what? I didn't think it was. Like I said, you're going to have to go to the website again, check it out, make your own decisions. Okay. So, and if you know what, here's the best advice that I would give anybody. Go to the website, pick out something that you may like or would use. Try it out. And if you like the product, then you go back and get more. They had, for this product here, there was different strengths. So I got the highest strength. I got the 1,000 milligrams. Okay. Again, this is, and here's the best part. You see this stuff here, guys? That's not addictive. It's not like a pill that you're getting from the doctor that you go, oh my God, I got to get my fix. I got to have my pill. I'm addicted now because I've been taking this pill for so long. You don't get addicted to this stuff, which is an awesome thing as well. And I think that that's awesome. And it's nature. It's from nature. It's natural. So that's another thing that's really good. Okay, so let us move forward. Okay. COVID defense elderberry with other additives, vitamin A, D, vitamin K12. Oh, all kinds of stuff she's got on here. Lady Kickboxer's talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can take that is going to help. Like I said, your immune system is going to be your most important thing with COVID. Getting proper rest, taking your vitamins, exercising, those type of things. That's going to be a really, lots of medical herbs out there. Wolfang just said. You're right. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff out there. MJR Farms just said CBD wiped out my friend's leukemia. That's very cool. That's very, very cool. Yeah, like I said, guys, there is the name of the company is Jada. Jaydega. So it's jada.com. That's where you're going to go. That's the website. And again, please don't forget when you're checking out, use the discount code PrepperNurse1 and you'll save 15% on your purchase. Okay. So definitely take advantage. The website. Okay. I'm going to say this again, guys, real quick, because people are asking again here. It's Jaydega. Jaydega.com. It's jada.com. So, but, like I said, that's something that is very, very healthy for you. It's very natural, so it's a good thing. The Navy used hemp rope. Oh, I'm going to tell you what. Hemp rope, it grows faster, and it's better to use than trees. It's awesome stuff. That is absolutely awesome stuff. Ed, have you considered growing on your own property, hemp, Mary Jane, etc.? Well, as soon as they legalize it here in New York, which I believe that they will soon, I really do. I think that they will legalize it. I will probably, whatever the legal limit of growing plants, I will grow them. So until then, I'm really not a big fan of jail. So I'm going to stay away from that. But I know like in certain states, you can have up to like 6 plants growing at a time or something like that. Hey, Prepared Grunt, CBD took care of my seizures and migraines. There you go. So thank you very much for the donation, and thank you for sharing that information as well. It's amazing how well this stuff works. It really is. So, like I said, it's an opportunity for you. It's another opportunity to help yourself. It's amazing how that works. So if my son takes 2 seizure meds, would this cut down on his need for them? Gene, I'm going to tell you right now, the CBD definitely helps with seizures. It's one of the things that it definitely helps with. Again, you would have to experiment with that and see what works. I would consult your doctor, and hopefully he's an open-minded doctor, and talk with him about that as well. Just don't take your son off his seizure meds and think that that's going to be the answer. But definitely, Asif just said, I have a few patients taking CBD oil. There you go. And that Asif obviously is a doctor. So thank you, Asif, for the statement. And thank you very much for the donation as well. So, yeah, so that's, so schools, we were talking about schools. We're going to get back into that, Mag. I promise. We were talking about the schools. Let's get back into that. There's a tremendous amount of anxiety for these kids going back. A lot of anxiety with the parents as well, because what are you sending your kids into? What's going to happen when you send your kids to school? As this virus continues to mutate, continues to get worse, it's going to be difficult moving forward. What's going to happen? So we'll have to see. This is why I love Nevada, and it's legal in Nevada. Yeah, well, it's legal Nevada, Colorado, Illinois. Right now, it's legal there. Vermont. So it's several places. So it's going to be inside of 5 to 10 years. Marijuana will be legal in every state because of the revenue. That is the main reason that they will legalize it, because it is a cash cow, and they want their cut. They want their cut. That's what it comes down to. So, but with your kids coming back, Alaska, it's legal as well. Okay. Yeah, I know that a lot of legal in California and Colorado. Oklahoma has medical marijuana. Okay. Yeah, I know. Like I said, it's going to be all over. It's just a matter of time, and it just makes more sense. All of Canada, yes, that's right. All of Canada is now legal, so that's a good thing too. Yeah. So what they've done here in New York, I think it was last year, they decriminalized marijuana. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean? If you get caught with less than 2 ounces, it's a $250 fine. Hey, Pamela X, I just pulled my last child, only daughter, out of public school indoctrination camps. They are teaching kids to hate themselves in America. You know what? And I think that's a smart thing to do. I would, thank you very much for that statement. And thank you very much for the donation. And I can't disagree with you there. I think, hey, baby girl, hey, did you lock the chickens up? Okay. If you can do it, I think that is a smart thing to do, is get your kids.
The cat's starting out of the way before someone asks.
Well, here, pull her, get her close so she can give a good look.
She doesn't want to.
Oh.
Here she is.
Miss Belle, the little petite flower. So, but yes, if you can pull your kids out of school and homeschool, I would highly recommend that. It's going to be better anyway. I think you're going to see a lot of parents doing that, especially with the restrictions that they're going to put on children with sending them to school. And think about this. Do you want your kid to have to wear a mask for 6 or 7 hours a day? I wouldn't want that. I don't like wearing a mask when I have to wear a mask. Going into a store, I hate wearing a mask. I'll be honest. Ask Heather; she'll be the first to tell you. Now, I'll do it because that's the rule wherever you are. But it's not my choice. Believe me, I don't. It's not the first thing I go. Oh yes, let me wear a mask. So no, not my choice at all. But you do what you got to do, and different places are saying that you. Hey, Donna Smith, can we make all the rioters and looters smoke some weed and chill out? Yeah, right. Well, here's the funny thing, and this is what. Okay, so we'll talk about that for a second too. Thank you very much for the donation as well. And yeah, they do need to definitely chill out. De Blasio in New York City. So he does banning large gatherings. No large gatherings. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. unless you're a protester for, social injustice or whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to see a large number of these folks are going to end up in the hospital, or their relatives are going to end up in the hospital because they've gone out in these large gatherings and they're protesting and thinking they're making some kind of big difference and change, which they're not. The looters and the rioters too, on top of that, these freaking people, a lot of them are going to get sick, in my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. And they're going to take, like I said, they're going to take that home and they're going to make their families sick. If you're going to stop all people from gathering, you stop everybody from gathering. You don't pick and choose and like, this is okay and that's not okay. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, unbelievable. What do you think about them painting in front of the Trump Tower? Oh, that was done. De Blasio and that crew did that to try to get under Trump's skin. Okay. And again, when is it legal? When does it become legal to deface the roads? This stuff is just and they got a permit and they got permission, but that's one of those things. If you decided, let's say you decided to make your own little group for whatever, they're not going to let you do that. Again, this is all playing up to these freaking lunatics and their demands. It's nuts. The whole thing is absolutely insane. They need to nip it in the bud and just end it right away. Is what they need to do. Hey, the Grove, wearing a mask in the New World Order's way of showing us participating in their satanic rituals as they themselves wear masks. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Thank you for your statement. Thank you for the donation as well. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the mask. I will wear it as little as I possibly can. I'll be honest. Realistically, the paper masks really do not afford a lot of protection unless you are sick and you are coughing. Then you're going to cough into that mask itself and not spread that out. But again, if it's airborne, which is they're saying that it is airborne, it can get into your eyes, it can get into your ears, and it's not going to protect you enough not to get in and get into your mouth. So, that's where I stand on that. So I'm just being honest. Again, they keep changing the narrative all the time. Every time we turn around, they're changing what they're saying of what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. How bad is this? How bad is that? It's just, but again, I have a lot of concerns for the children. If you can, wearing a mask is a form of submission. Gene Blair just said, you're right. It is. Giving into your masters. Your masters are telling you what to do, and you are doing what you're told, like a good little sheep. So, Ed, name of your food company. Oh, it's Legacy Foods. Legacy Freeze-Dried Foods. And that's on my website as well. Hey, Tiny Titan 50, open carry. They can't by law federal make you wear one. And the thing is too, and with that, and thank you for the donation too. I know in New York, the way it states in New York is if you cannot social distance, meaning staying 6 feet away from somebody, that they want you to wear a mask. Now, any business out there, any store out there has the right to refuse service. That's another thing that they can do. So if you go into their store and they say, would you please put a mask on? And you do, then, obviously they're not going to bother you. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of stores that I go into, and I'm being honest, I don't wear a mask, okay? Hey, Carl, or hey, Kat, sorry, teach them about our history, good or bad, it's our history. Yeah, absolutely. They need to know so they don't repeat it. That's part of the problem. They need to know so they don't repeat it. Thank you very much for the donation as well. Again, I'm very fortunate. I live in a county where we have very few cases of the virus. When we go out, like when we went out today, we went and we were doing antique shopping is what we were doing today. Hey, Carm, I also fought leukemia and beat it in 2 years. It's 2 years free. Oh, very nice. And did you use CBD to help that, I hope? And thank you very much for the donation as well. And thank you for that statement. What was I saying here? Oh, wait a minute. Pamela, masks are now being called face coverings. If that's not normalizing communism, I don't know what is. Yeah, I know it's the whole thing is crazy, and I hate them. And like I said, I'm going to wear it as little as I possibly can. But like I said, today when we went, we were the only ones in these stores that we went into today. Nobody else was there except for whoever was behind the counter. Basically, that was it. But they can refuse you service. So if you say no, I'm not wearing a mask, then they can say, well, get out of my store. So to me, it was like small compliance. Do it for the moment that I had to do it. And literally, when we got into the store and we got up to the second level, I took the mask off. I'll be honest with you. So, I just, money is a powerful mute. Yeah, it is. You're right. And I know a lot of people that won't wear them at all. That refuse to wear them. And again, it's a choice. You have that right to make that choice. So it's also mandatory in Columbus, Ohio. Well, what they're saying is if you can't social distance, then you're supposed to wear a mask. But a lot of these companies, like Tractor Supply would be a good example of one. They said that, you have to wear the mask or they won't give you service. Now, that being said, the last 2 times I went into Tractor Supply, I did not wear a mask. Okay, I was probably the only one in there that did not wear a mask. And they waited on me and they gave me my service. So, that's, again, it's individual choice. My thing is I don't want to be in huge crowds. I don't want to be in the grocery store with 300 of my closest friends. So I pick and choose my times when I go do things. And so that's how I do it. And again, it's, I'm able to do that and I'm lucky in that aspect. Like going out today, we were out and about. And like I said, there was the store owner and us in those stores. That was it. So it worked out great. So, but okay, so let's do eggs real quick. All right, because Raven62 has their guests up there. So let's do our real quick. We'll do the egg count. And while we're doing it, while you guys are putting your guesses up there, we're at 910 in the chat. We're at 438 on the thumbs up, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would please ask you to do that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. I appreciate that. And again, it really does help with the algorithms as well, which is also very, very helpful. And so please do that as well. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, egg count. Raven, who put their guess up there, was 100% correct. We had 10 eggs today. We ended up yesterday, I think I told you guys already in video, we had 12 eggs yesterday. And Thick Neck was lazy yesterday. Hey, Alice J., can you do videos about talking to kids about the virus, school, and including them in prepping, like younger kids' ages? Absolutely. I'm going to tell you what. Thank you very much for the donation, and thank you very much for asking about that. I absolutely can do videos about that. I think it's really, really important to include your kids in any kind of activities that you're doing. I don't care what you're doing around your home or whatever. If you include them, kids want to be helpful. They want to be helpful. I'm going to tell you a funny story. Hilarious. So, yeah, have you ever seen the little sweepers that they have? They're no electricity to them, but you get, use them on rugs and stuff like that, right? So my kids were all little. They were all little. The twins, and I'm trying to think how old the twins were. Maybe like 5, okay? And this, oh my God, to this day I still laugh. So Randy and Suzanne were over, a couple that we knew, and we're all hanging out. And Randy gets that little sweeper thing, and the kids are sitting there, and he starts sweeping. He's like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Well, the next thing you know, both Eddie and Heather are going, I want to do it. So they start doing it. It is fun. It is a lot of fun. They're cleaning. And he tricked them into thinking that it was a fun activity, and they were doing that. So that just gives you an example. If you include your children and make them part of what you're doing, is it easier? Is it easier to do things yourself? Yes, it is. It's much easier. But if you teach those children responsibilities, that's really important as well. So with your kids, teaching them those responsibilities, having them part of doing, if you're packing stuff up, let them help. Let them have the scoop, and maybe you got your Mylar bag in your 5-gallon bucket, and you have them take that scooper for the rice, and they're scooping the rice up and they're putting it in there. Let them help. It makes them feel part of it. It makes them connected with what you're doing. And again, if you're teaching your children, I think it's important to do that as well. I think it really, really is important. So, but anyway, let's get back really quick. Yeah, Uncle Ed story time. Yeah, there's always this. I'm gonna tell you what. I got so many things that pop up that have happened in our life. It's so interesting. But the money's not there right now for them to safely open these schools. Again, $13.5 billion was allocated federal funding from the first stimulus package, okay? And again, I'm going to say this again. The airlines got $25 billion. Schools for all across our country got $13.5 billion. It's amazing the difference in that, okay? There's going to be a lot of upset kids. You're going to need to sit down. You're going to need to talk to them and explain. If you have to send them to the public school, you're going to need to do a lot of explaining to them. And you got to let them know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Thick Neck is my favorite. Give her a break. Oh, I love Thick Neck. Thick Neck, and she absolutely adores Goliath. I mean, she absolutely adores Goliath, that's his number one girl. Number one girl is Thick Neck. So fun chicken. So she late today, so she was okay. She was off the hook. Hey, Mike, do you think we are being locked down for the incoming comment in the next few months? I don't think that would be the case. I think if they knew there was a comment coming in that was on a collision course, and thank you for the donation as well, and thank you for the question. If they felt that there was an incoming comment coming in, they would want people to be as productive as possible right up until that time. They wouldn't even tell you until it was almost too late to tell you. Because again, they would not want panic. They would not want people like freaking out and just going absolutely nuts. So I don't think that's the case in my opinion. Again, I'm just giving you my opinion. You asked the question. I'm going to give you my opinion. So I don't think that one has anything to do with the other. Ed, why bother getting tested? Tests are inaccurate. And I agree. A lot of false positives. And again, if you get tested today, all right, you get tested today, that doesn't mean tomorrow you're not going to come in contact with somebody who is positive. So unless you're really showing signs or symptoms and you're very sick and you want to know one way or the other, that would be the reason that I would get tested if that was the case. If I'm not sick and if I don't feel like I have it, I'm not getting tested. And realistically, I'll be honest, if I got sick, I'm going to try to ride out whatever I can ride out here at home is what I'm going to try to do, depending on how bad it was. So MJR says no asteroid coming. Okay. Hey, Donna. I think the virus will be worse in the fall. Cases are going up now and probably will continue to go up. And I agree with you 100%, Donna. Thank you very much for the donation. I think when the fall gets here and round 2 hits, because this is not round 2 right now. This is absolutely not round 2. I think that you're going to see an accelerated cases happening. I think you're going to see a lot more sick people. I think you're going to see a lot more death from this. A lot of the people that are getting sick now are younger. They're not the older folks anymore. So that is concerning. Okay. So that being said, and somebody had asked me this before, and I will talk about this as well. Will I get, if they come out with a shot, will I get the shot? Absolutely not. No. I'm not getting any kind of shot for anything. I believe that if you get sick, you need to get sick to build up those natural antibodies for whatever the case may be. No flu shot for me. No, nothing else. I'm not getting any of that stuff. So, no. And I saw somebody was, I think it was Bill Gates was talking, and he was saying that, that you're going to need, that people should have an identification card, that if the proof that they've gotten the shot so they can go to work and travel and all this. That's ridiculous. They try to do stuff like that. I'm going to tell you what, there's certain things, and let me just put this as nicely as I can. There's certain things that people in this country are going to allow to happen. okay? And then it comes to a point where people are going to say no more, okay? If you have to have some kind of card that proves that you've had this shot or that shot that the pharmaceutical companies are making an absolute fortune off of, okay? No way, not happening, not happening. And who made Bill Gates the authority on shots? He's a computer guy. Go do your computers. Worry about somebody else with shots. Let somebody that knows what they're doing with shots deal with that. Not Bill Gates. I'm not listening to Bill Gates. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. Not happening. Who is he? Is his name Dr. Bill Gates? No. So, but social distancing of 6 feet, but Shannon Dust Cloud just blew halfway around the world. That things that make you go, yeah, lady kickboxer, I gotcha. I understand that 100%. Bill Gates may be the Antichrist. Well, I'll tell you what. He's a creepy old man, and I don't trust him. I don't trust him. When somebody, here's the thing is, when somebody says this is in your best interest, it's not in your best interest. If they're trying to force you to do something, I want to do exactly the opposite. That's my way of fighting the system, I guess. It's always been that way. But my sister, a nurse, said all the staff must be, again, tested for COVID, that it is mass. Well, and here's the thing, too. You know what? All these people, now there's a lot of people, that are, and they're coming on my channel and they're making comments, and a lot of them I leave unless they're nasty. But, the virus is fake, it's not real, blah, blah. I want you guys to tell that to all the doctors and nurses that have died from COVID-19. Talk to all the family members. And here's one of the things, and here's the biggest thing. Well, they'll say, well, if they had COVID-19 and they died of something else, they said it was a COVID-19 death. You know what? I don't know how true that is or not true that is. It may be in some cases. I don't know. I mean, I don't have that concrete information in front of my face. So when people are saying that, yes, they're accelerating the numbers and stuff like that, and this is how they're doing it, I don't know. I don't have the answers for that, okay? Maybe somebody's saying something a certain way because it's an advantage for them or the hospital. I don't know. But all I know for sure that a lot of doctors and a lot of nurses have died because of COVID-19 that were healthy, and because they were taking care of patients with COVID-19, they're now dead. Okay. And those are the things that I pay attention to. Okay. When you have whole areas that are having a tremendous amount of issues. Now, here's something I want you to think about too, guys. Okay. So let's think about the protesters for a moment. So you have, and it's primarily a lot of younger people, BLM, the whole BLM protesters. Most of those crowds, and let's, how do I say this so it makes sense? The majority of those crowds that are out there protesting are black people or people of color, okay? The people that have been hit hardest by COVID in the United States are the minority population. So is this the way that the government says, oh yeah, go ahead, go on out there and protest because they want you to get it? Think about that. Think about that for a second. They're going to let you protest because now you're all mixing together and you're going to get everybody else really sick. But it's just a minority, so who cares? I mean, and I'm just speculating, completely speculating. But think about that. Hey, Mike Bushman, everybody say now they won't get the vaccine, but when it's mandated, everybody will get the vaccine or you won't be able to exist in this world. Scary to the bone. Right, but I think what you're going to see if they mandate it, thank you for that statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I think if they get to a point where they mandate that and they say that you have to, that's going to be part of a rebellion, because that's, there's nothing should be forced on anybody. But again, what have we all done too, right? Here's something else to think about. All our kids' shots. Oh, it's for your safety. It's for their safety. You got to get them their shots. And then you have this spike of the number of things in these shots. And look at what's happened with autism in this country, okay? And that spiked as they continue to put more and more stuff in our small children So again, and we just went ahead and said, yeah, okay, go ahead and do that. But now people are starting to be anti-vaxxers, and they've been vilified for being anti-vaxxers. So, I mean, it's like, there's definitely an agenda. There's definitely a game being played out there, and is being played against all of us. And at what point, as a human being, do we say enough is enough? Hey, Full of Hope, this confusion about CV is to divide us further. Exactly. And it's another way, also dividing and distracting. Let's see. But anyway, again, with everything that's going on, let's think about the kids. Really, really think about the kids having to go into an environment where they're being forced to be isolated in cubicles. They're being tested when they get on the bus. They're being tested when they get off the bus. And again, realistically, I'm going to tell you what. Before I had kids, never got sick. Ever got sick, okay? When my kids went to school and every idiot sent their child to school sick, and it spread like wildfire, because if my children were sick, we kept them home, okay? And then you get to school calling you while you were keeping your kid home. Well, if I make the call that my kid is sick, they're staying home, period. And I don't care what they say. And I'm not sending you a note back with my reason. My reason is, as a parent and as an intelligent adult, I made the call to keep my kid home. So I dealt with that with Heather. Heather would miss maybe 5 or 6 days of school a year. She always wanted to go. But if I made the call that she stayed home, they were like, oh, they're saying that you got to have a note come back. I said, I ain't sending no note back. I made a decision as a parent to keep you home. And if they want to call me and talk to me about it, I'm more than happy to talk to them. But you'd get a call from the nurse's office. Your child is not in school today. Well, yeah, no kidding, because I kept them home. Now, I realize that is done because a lot of kids skip or whatever the case may be. I mean, and I realize that happens because of that. But, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot going to be going on with these schools. The schools don't have enough money at this point in time. If Congress and the Senate come together and they pass another stimulus bill, let's hope that they allocate enough money to help the schools so that they can open the schools safely and keep our kids safe. Now, what is that going to look like? I think it's going to be a nightmare. I think it's going to be very traumatic, especially for the younger kids when they won't understand. They won't know why. Okay. And again, so do we say, just comply, do what you're told, be a good citizen? Do we do that? Or do we decide to, maybe it's time to pull them out and do homeschooling? And again, does that make things tougher? Of course it does, because most people today need to have both of those incomes from mom and dad working. It's again, when my ex-wife was pregnant with the twins, and Josh was, 5 years old at that time, and then we knew the twins were coming. It was, it was like, holy crap, And I told her at that point, I said, you stay home with both of them until they're school age. I will take care of us. And I did 66 hours a week, 6 days a week, and I did it for 10 years. So, you do what you have to do to sacrifice for your family, and we had, so they're talking again too, another stimulus for families, but now they want to lower the threshold. They want to give more. President Trump, I know, wants it to be a larger number than the 1,200, but they're trying to get it so that it is a lower income bracket. So they don't want it to be they want it to be for people that made like under 40,000. So I think that's what they're looking to do now. So we'll see what happens with that. What do we got? 868 here, guys, in the chat. 874 now. We're at 528 on a thumbs up. Again, I'm going to ask for a thumbs up again if you would do that. I would appreciate that. Again, it really does show support for the channel, which I appreciate that as well. It hugely helps with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the more positive interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I would ask you to do that as well. And thank you ahead of time. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, I would ask you to please subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you hit that bell icon so that you get all notifications as well. Okay. And thank you again for doing that ahead of time as well. A lot of dead people get the first stimulus check. Apparently, there was a Walmart in heaven. Yeah, I heard that there was a lot of people that did get that. I thought that was pretty funny. They're still going off the 2018. Are they still going off the 2018 tax return? Austin, I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to be doing that. I have no idea. My thumbs up was number 159. Well, thank you very much, Ranger 192. Thank you for that. Let's see what we got. They're going to need more. Well, think about this, guys. You're going to have more buses for the schools, and that's a great comment. You're going to have more people monitoring. They're going to need more nurses in the schools, keeping an eye on the kids and stuff like that as well. So that's going to be part of it. There's going to be a lot to it. There's going to be a lot more money that's going to be needed. And so when they ask for the budget for next year, again, don't be surprised if they want to raise these budgets up and have us taxpayers footing the bill for that. And again, the other question that I was going to have, what I was going to say, where's that money coming from? Are they just pulling that out of the air? You know what I mean? We're talking billions of dollars. We're not just talking about a little bit of money. So, hey, Stray Dog, we actually did the eggs already, and it was 10 eggs today. So, just so you know. Many staffers and teachers simply aren't going to show up for work. It's going to be tough because it's going to put them in an environment especially when you're talking, kindergartners, first graders, second, third graders. Those kids are little germ factories. And again, as I was saying earlier, I used to never get sick, ever get sick. When my kids went to school, I was sick all the time. It was disgusting. I hated it because they would go to school and they would be fine. Some idiot would send their kid to school sick. The kids would get it. They'd bring it home, and they always gave it to me. They were very kind that way, very kind. They have money tree farms. Good. Oh, I'm glad. I need to bring some of my own. I need to grow a couple of those trees. My mom worked in special ed. Everybody she talked to is retiring early as they can. Well, again, you're seeing right now, the cops right now are getting out. They're getting out. They're taking early retirement. They're done. They're done with the BS. They're done with the nonsense. I think you're going to see a lot of teachers are going to do that same thing. They're going to get out. And that's sad because that actually, in the long run, that hurts the kids as well. And it's unfortunate, but it's going to happen. I think it's absolutely going to happen. And, moving forward, this is going to be a really interesting thing to watch to see how it goes. And thank goodness I don't have school-age children. My daughter is in college, so it's a different thing. And as an adult, she can look at things and make her own decisions on what she thinks is acceptable and not acceptable. Obviously, I'm hoping that she consults me and asks me my opinion on stuff. Hey, Lena at Hope Farm. COVID just hit the 9/11 center where I work. Not happy. Wow, that's not good. Thank you very much for the donation as well. And I'm sorry to hear that hit that center where you work. Yeah, we're in for some very, very interesting times. Nursing is being destroyed by this BS too. Forget the former honorable professions. Well, again, people had asked me when this whole thing broke out, are you going to go back and work? And I'm like, absolutely not. There would be no amount of money that could get me to go back and risk my life in this situation. And, a lot of nurses have gotten out of nursing. It's sad. It's unfortunate. But again, the burnout rate in nursing, guys, is so tremendously high. It is ridiculously high. And now you add the stress of this on top of it, you add the stress on top of that with everything else that's going on. It's got right now. I feel so bad for my fellow nurses, CNAs, doctors out there, all of what you guys got to go through. My heart goes out to you, and I cannot begin to tell you how grateful I am that I am not in the field anymore. I mean, it sounds terrible, but I am so glad I don't have to deal with it because it's like I said, and I've said, I already hate wearing a mask for the couple of minutes that I have to wear it if I go into a store. I couldn't imagine having to be at work all day and having to wear a mask all the time. I couldn't even imagine that. And think about those people that have to do that, guys. Cashiers, stock people, anybody running these stores, they're having to wear a mask all the time. And it's not, it's not a pleasant thing. It's not fun. And it's like, how healthy is it? Now, let's think about this too. Let's think of the health ramifications. You have this mask on, you're breathing out carbon monoxide, basically, and then you're sucking that right back in again. You're not getting good oxygen for yourself, which is very, very unhealthy as well. So that's something to think about as well. So, Mr. Rose says, I have to wear a mask all day. It sucks bad. Oh, I'm sure. It's especially with being a prison guard and dealing with this stuff. I know the prisons are getting hit hard. And again, so what is their answer? Let more of them out. I mean, that's ridiculous too. Yes, it's a bioweapon, but China is not done yet. Amy and Jeremy. Yes. You know what? I absolutely agree it's a bioweapon. And again, I would love to really be like a fly in the wall someplace in China where the higher communist people are and know what the true numbers are, because the nonsense they're feeding us just doesn't walk. Especially when you have a country of over 1 billion people, it don't wash. That there's such a small number of people have it there. Not buying it. And again, I believe that it is much worse. Are numbers manipulated? The numbers are manipulated all the time, guys, and it happens all the time. And there's nothing you can do about that. It's the way it happens, But what are you going to do? So, all right. What we're going to do now, because it's already 9 after 9, so we're going to do We Are Legion right now. We're going to do that part right now, and get that out of the way. So we are Legion because we are many. We're all over the world. We're this huge community of preppers and off-gridders. We're all over the place. Where is everybody from tonight? So where is everybody from? We got Tennessee. Let's see, Southern California, the communist state of Massachusetts. I like that. Pennsylvania, Melbourne, Australia, Linden, Texas, Central Ohio, BC, Canada, Montreal, Canada, Montana, San Diego, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, Michigan, Loch Ness, I like that. Las Vegas, we have Indiana, Maine, Maryland, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Cape Cod, Virginia, Northern Georgia, Austin, Texas, Southwest Ontario, let's see, London, Tennessee, Eastern Long Island, New Jersey, we have Northern Illinois, Gavinsport, New York, Southwest Florida, Alabama, Denver, Colorado. Let's see. We got Maryland, Wisconsin, the UK, North Carolina, New Jersey, the Pinelands, Area 51. That's awesome. Take us to the mothership. The UK again, Utah, Oklahoma, Akron, Ohio, Nova Scotia. We have Illinois, Arkansas, New Hampshire, Nowhere, Oklahoma. I love that one. We got Kentucky, Lookout Mountain, Alabama, Nebraska, Almond, New York, Florida again, Tampa, down in Florida, Ontario, Canada, North Carolina. We have Kansas. Let's see, Ontario, Canada once again. Homestead DIY with L&T. Let's see, Homestead DIY with L&T. Small channel needs a little push. Thanks. Okay, guys, there's another small channel, Homestead DIY with L&T. If you would go over there and give them a little support and help their channel out, let's get them growing, get them a little bit bigger. And thank you very much. And thank you for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. And we should all be supporting each other. I think it's really important that we support each other. We got St. Paul, Minnesota, Akron, Ohio, Anderson, South Carolina. Let's see. So, guys, like I said, we are all over the world. We're all over this country. We're this huge, big network of people, and we really, truly can make a difference. I really think we can. I think we can make a difference now, educating, waking people up. Oh, we got Louisiana. I don't think I said that one earlier. But again, it's like, we have, I don't want to call it an obligation, but I think it's a calling that we need to be there for people to try to help people. And so the more people that we can wake up, the less victims there's going to be. So the more people that we can get to help themselves, I think that that's really, really important. Okay. So let's try to do that. Let's really try to do that. Let's show that support for each other. I want to mention this one more time here before we jump off of here. The announcement that I did earlier in the stream, I have got together. It's called Jayda, Jaydega. Okay, that's how you spell it. You go to jayda.com. It's a CBD and hemp. They have both of those things. So if you go to their website, you can get anything that you want. When you're checking out, if you use the discount code PrepperNurse1, you will get a 15% off of your total purchase. Okay, all their purchases that they do will go out within 1 to 2 days. So I wanted to make sure I told you guys that again as well. So it goes out very, very quickly. They have a lot of products there that are going to help people. And again, it's Jaydega. So it's Jayda.com. So go to their website, check out what they have. With any purchase that you make, you're obviously going to, a little bit goes back to me. It helps support the channel as well. But again, I will never get behind any product that I don't believe in. They will have it set up within the next couple of days where they can ship internationally. So if you're over in Australia or the UK or France, Germany, Scotland, wherever you may be, if you would like to try something, you're going to be able to order as well. Again, any order goes out really quickly with this company. They're a small company. They just got started not that long ago. So again, it's another way to support small businesses. And the best part is all the products are made here in the United States. So I think that's important as well. Okay, so just putting that out there one more time. So, but I hope, we had a good chat tonight, I think. I want to thank my moderators once again, who continuously come on here constantly and do a fantastic job with keeping the chat clean. And I think that it's important, that we do that just to keep it very family friendly. And they do a fantastic job. So thank you, my moderators, ladies and gentlemen, that do that for me. I do appreciate that. And it does mean a lot to me. It really, truly does. So thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you what. Somebody just said, prep for food. I'm a big believer in that too. I don't know how big of a window that we have at this point with what is going on. The more preparations that we can do, the more ready that we can get for whatever's coming. I think it's a smart thing to do. So I highly, highly encourage you to don't be victims, be proactive, get things squared away. So when the time comes, you don't react, that you act. Have that game plan. Have that preparation in mind. Be ready. Again, we just never know what's going to happen. So it's really, really important to be as squared away as we possibly can be ahead of time. And it's going to be an interesting next 6 months in this country. I'm telling you right now, with the elections and everything else that's going on, I think we are in for a really bumpy ride, and we will see what happens. But again, it comes down to Terrence Parker Jr. says, Ed, we have 3 months. You know what? It wouldn't shock me if it was that small of a window. It really wouldn't. So do everything that you can to help yourselves. Be as ready as you possibly can be in whatever time we have left. I don't make predictions. I'm not going to say it's going to be this long. I will never do that. I see everything that's going on. The economy is in a shambles in this country. We're in deep, deep debt in this country, and something has to give at some point. And so there would not shock me in the least if we ended up in a major war. It would not shock me at all. So that's something else to think about as well. So again, just be as ready as you can be. Try to help yourselves. Help those around you too. Help the people that were not awake, that didn't think anything was going to happen. Teach them to help themselves. And I think that's important to do too. Okay. So anyway, I am going to jump off of here from now. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. I think that's important to remember. I think a lot of people lose sight of that. We really are. We're a huge family. It's called the human race. And I think that that's important. I think more people need to look at it that way. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Also, remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. And it is amazing how that works. Step, thing, and day, right? Really simple. But if you put that into practice and you make progress with, and again, it doesn't always have to be about prepping. It doesn't have to be about living off grid. It's whatever goals that you have set for yourself that you're trying to strive for, amazing how they happen and how they get done. It really, truly is. So just keep doing that, and you're going to, okay? So stay positive. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We might be going garage selling tomorrow. I think that's what we're headed for. Really love to go garage sailing. So we should have fun with that. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.